Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. Kids are back in school, I am back to making things, and this week I'm bringing you 10 thrift flips or DIY videos, and if you're interested in seeing how they turn out, stick around. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this thrifted canister I had, and I spray painted it and then tried to sand it a little bit. It got some marks on it and just kind of left it alone. Let's finish this. So I am going to do the baking soda paint technique, and I'm going to go 2 tablespoons of baking soda to 3 tablespoons or spoonfuls of paint. I don't quite like the 2-to-1 ratio, so I'm doing a little bit runnier and making sure it's mixed really well and get all the clumps out. And then I'm going to go 2 coats on this, all going the same direction with my brush, making sure I do a good job of sanding it to the touch when I'm finished with the 220 grit sandpaper. Next, I'm going to seal it with the wax, but I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to show you anyway. I'm using Waverly's white wax, and we all know that that is not white, it is yellow. And I was just trying to find a way to use it because I was going to try to make this one look a little older. But I did the white wax, and then I went over it with a little bit of the antiquing wax, and I did not like it. Nope. So I'm showing you so you can see what that look is. But I decided to just go totally different and paint it a nice color. Since it was a canister that doesn't have any matches, it could be like a fun little green color and can go into someone's bathroom. So what do you guys think? Next project, I'm going to start from basics. Got these 2 canisters from the thrift store. One has a lid and one does not. And I'm actually going to be using these in my kitchen. So I wanted to do the same technique on them and just try one of my new iron orchid stamps that I bought myself for Christmas. Oh boy, did I get some craft supplies for Christmas. Anyway, so I did 2 coats, and now I'm sanding this down with a 220 grit sandpaper, wiping it down to get rid of the dust, and I do a clear wax first, just to let you know. I'll show that in a different tutorial, but this is the IOD Sprigs stamp, and I'm just using the Stays On black ink on this, and just doing a nice little simple flower. So for my next one, I had already painted these 3 canisters and fixed that with some IOD clay. There was a little chip in it, and I just kind of fixed that. But they've been in my basement for a very long time. So I'm bringing them upstairs. They've already been sanded down, and I'm just putting like a clear wax, a cheap Waverly clear wax, over the top of them, and then just rubbing off the excess. And that makes sure that splatters and stuff don't get into your paint. If you're using this really in the kitchen area, I would do a couple coats of this. But I have seen these IOD crockery canisters all over YouTube, and I don't have a set. I've never done a set of them, of a canister set. So I decided to go ahead and have a canister set, so it is part of my inventory for when I open my booth. Just trying to get a bunch of stuff finished and taking you guys along for the ride. So I'm making sure that each stamp is starting at the same space from the bottom, since these are all different sizes. And then I'm visualizing to make sure that they're similar in height so that they go together really well. So after I do these stamps, I am going to go over them with a matte polyurethane just over the stamp. It is a permanent ink, but that just makes me feel better, like there's not going to be any smears on this. Next, I bought this organizer from the thrift store, and I like that it's already black because it's going to be in my husband's home office, but it has this green undertone to it. So I basically took the antiquing wax, straight antiquing wax, and put it over this black to try to get a more of a brown undertone, and I'm really happy with the results. Just a really basic, everything else about that was great. I just needed the tone to be a little different, and I'm going to show you here comparison of what it looked like on one side versus the other. And I'm sure my husband would have been completely fine with just that, but I wanted to kind of fancy it up a little bit. So I found the center and put this painter's tape down the center. This is something I'm going to be taking up eventually, just making sure it's center in all the spaces. And then I'm going to butt up the tape next to it so that I have an even line, and then remove that center piece, and that is going to be my stencil. So I am just using a makeup brush from the Dollar Tree, some regular paint, and doing 2 coats, very light coats so that it doesn't leak through. And then after that is dry, so I had to work on some other things and then come back to it, but after that is dry, I put the masking tape over the white piece so that there would be a space and an edge, a nice solid edge. As you can see, I did get some bleed through at that bottom part. It was kind of tough to stencil without being heavy down there. But since this isn't sealed yet, I just wiped it off with the baby wipe. And ended up distressing it with the baby wipe as well. The next project is this little thing I found at the thrift store for $1. And the back had never been finished. I didn't mind the brown on the side with the stuff. I just wanted it to all look fresh, so I did do a layer of the antiquing wax to kind of make it all go together. And my idea was to do like a Mod Podge in the back. Actually, I was gonna stain it, but look, that was like a big no. Then I Mod Podged some scrapbook paper. I've used scrapbook paper before, but having to get so far in the back, that didn't work. So I tore that out, and this tissue paper I got from Hobby Lobby. I've done other projects with it before. It is just a gift. It's in the gift wrapping section, and I got like 8 pieces for maybe $3, and it's worked on some projects. So I just Mod Podged that in the back, and I'm happy with the results. So this was my trouble piece. I got this from Jenny. I'm sure I showed you my thrift haul last week, but it is just a wooden box, but it had some like weird difference in tone. So what my first idea is, I was going to cover it in white wax and kind of make it look like a muted mango wood, which is kind of what I have in my kitchen, and I was going to put my receipts in this. I wish I would have put clear wax on it first so that I could control the white a little bit. But in the end, I didn't mind the look of this. But there is something about this. I let it dry for 2 solid days. And I had plans to put like this transfer on it. And the transfer would not stick at all. So the Floral Anthropology IOD transfers, I got these a long time ago. I've used them on a number of projects. Just trying to use up some of the stuff that I have. And for some reason, after 2 days of white wax curing, these transfers would not attach. So I do end up using this transfer on another project that's going to be right after this. So now it's time to come up with plan B. My plan was to, why don't I just paint it with white chalk paint, because I know that the transfers will stick on this. And I'm not even going to seal the chalk paint. I'll seal it after I put the transfer on. That was my plan. And so I just did one coat because I really wanted the wood to come through, because I love that this was this beautiful wood. So I just did one coat of this paint with all the brush strokes going the same way, and then sanded it with an 80 grit sandpaper to just take that off and really let the wood shine. And then when I tried to do the transfer on top of this, it also wouldn't stick. So I left the piece this way. You know what? I guess it was screaming this is what it wanted to be. Do you guys have any idea why these transfers wouldn't stick? Let me know in the comments below. So I finally found a piece that this stuck to. It was painted with chalk paint. This is a piece I made, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, originally for forks and knives in a centerpiece, but now I kind of use it for all my tools for my channel. So I thought I'd make, you know, all my craft supply tools a little bit cuter. So as you can see, if I accidentally got it off and it wasn't matching up, you just put it right back on and match it up, and then you use the other side to burnish it in and kind of make it be one with the paint. So I'm so glad that I finally found somewhere to use this beautiful transfer, and let me know what you guys think. The next piece I got in my thrift haul for 25 cents that I showed you last week, and I'm going over it with white wax. I also wish I would have done clear wax on this first so that I could have more control over the white wax, but in the end it just looked like a brush white paint, so that works too. So I am grabbing a different brand of transfers and just adding one little pink sprig to the front and turn this 25-cent piece into something a little bit more special. The next project is something my friend Jenny, who gave me all this stuff for free, got at a thrift store and said, "Can you get this paint off of here? My daughter is having a baby girl and not a baby boy, and just tell me how much you'll charge me." And I was like, "Girl, you have given me so much free stuff. I am not charging you anything." So I am just going through. I tried 220 grit first, and then I moved to 80 grit sandpaper to just get this painted thing off of the wood, because she wanted to use the regular wood look. And then the seat was made out of particle board, and I wanted to kind of sand that down and get rid of those water spots that were on the seat. And I found some stain that I just happened to have, just lightly dabbed it, and I'm pretty happy with the results. We're on the last project. This guy was $5, and I watched it until it went half off at the thrift store for $2.50. Here's the Henry cameo and the little tail wagging. Cutie patootie. I spray painted 2 coats of Rust-Oleum spray paint on this and then just roughed up the edges, and I have a great display piece for my booth or something for magazines. So what'd you guys think? Did you have a favorite? I had fun making it again, and if you liked this video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments below what your favorite thrift flip that I did today was. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.